The art of getting along with people. Yes, there is a science to getting along with people. There are times in our lives that we just wish that it were easier to interact with some people, or we find ourselves being around people who, for whatever reason, and we may not even know the cause, there's just something about them that we just don't like, and as a result, end up throwing all this hatred and frustration towards them. Well, today on day 15 of our 30-day mental diet, we're going to explore the art of what it is to get along with people. For those who don't know, my name is Reverend Kali. I am pastor of the National Spiritual Science Center, and we are on a 30-day mental diet journey to explore the thoughts, beliefs, underlying concepts that influence our way of thinking that end up manifesting in our day-to-day lives, and just beginning to release those that are no longer in alignment with what we desire and who we are, and begin to bring in and become aware of and be more grounded in those beliefs that are in alignment with who we are and allow us to manifest the desires of our heart. So we are now on week 3 of our 30-day mental diet, and today we're going to explore the art of what it is to get along with people. The first step is getting to know yourself. When you get to know yourself, you begin to uncover things about yourself that you may not like, judgments that you hold against yourself, things or parts of your experience within life that you get to forgive yourself for. Release the guilt, release the shame, release any anger, and move into this space of acceptance of who you are and complete wholeness. You must first learn to take care of your own house before you can even begin to create something with somebody else or begin to develop that relationship with somebody else. Until you know who you are, know what it is you like, know your what we call strengths and weaknesses, parts of ourselves that we know that we need to work on and we're moving there, and just being able to have that honest and authentic conversation with yourself about this is who I am. I am made perfect in spirit, and yes, there are some things that I am still learning, some areas that I am still growing into. What that does is that it allows you to move into the next part of understanding that life is a mirror reflection. And so when you look at your relationships with people around you, realizing that your interaction with those people and the nature of your relationship reflects some aspect of you in your life. Now, that's a hard thing to swallow, especially when it's somebody who is absolutely not like you, and there's one part of them that you just you have so much disdain for. But guess what? They are a reflection of a thought somewhere deep in within you. And it may not be something that's conscious, which is why I love the relationships and creating them and having them, because they allow us to see parts of ourselves that we may not have gotten a chance to know. So if we look at somebody, we can begin to say, hey, where is that showing up in my life? Now, that requires us going back to step one in terms of knowing yourself and being in this place of acceptance of who we are to be able to say, hey, I'm going to release the judgment of what this thing looks like so that I can uncover it, explore it, and see what it is that's calling me to grow, to move more into my authentic and higher self. Moving on to step 3, molehills out of mountains. I think in relationships, we tend to find that there's a joke in terms of relationships, especially with married couples or partners, um, where they get upset because the cap wasn't, screwed back on the toothpaste or the toilet seat is left up. And we know that at the root of it, that's not really the issue, that there is some underlying issue underneath of that. Or simply put, somebody is just having a bad day and just forgot to do the thing that, they would normally do for you. Be mindful of those things. You never know what somebody else is experiencing in life or what they're going through. Be mindful to not take something that is maybe significant for you, but in the moment, given what's going on in the other person's world, is not as significant for them. When you put yourself in their shoes, you begin to understand that it's not really about the toothpaste and it's not really about the toilet seat, but it's about how can I be present to you in this moment to support you in what you're going through and to help bring us closer and to deepen the level of intimacy that we have within our relationship. Know that you also cannot divide yourself. So, how you feel towards one person is going to be representative of how you feel about others on some level. So just be mindful of that it carries through. So it starts with ourselves. The part of ourselves that we don't like, we're going to find that thing that we don't like in others and thus create this gap in our relationships. And then that filters on to other people around us. And soon we find ourselves in this space where we look around and we're all by ourselves and we can't figure out why. You have to begin to look within and go within and begin to appreciate and accept all aspects of who you are. Like begets like. Going back to the very beginning of our 30-day mental diet and the understanding that our thoughts reflect in our real world. Anything that we've manifested is just a reflection of what it is we hold in our consciousness. So if we have relationships that aren't beneficial to us, if we have relationships where people are just getting on our nerves, we need to look at the thoughts that we're holding in our minds and what's really manifesting in our real world. Like I said earlier, our relationships are just a mirror reflection of what's going on with us. And they're a mirror reflection of our relationship to spirit. So the question becomes if I'm not getting along with my brother or my sister or my mother or my father, where am I not getting along with that part of spirit within me? This is the art of what it is to get along with people, what it is to get along with ourselves as individuals as well. So I want to thank you for joining me on day 15 of our 30-day mental diet. This week we explore what it is to have better relationships and to get our affairs in order. So join me tomorrow as we continue this exploration together. Thank you.